Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, and how to build strong family relationships. In this video, we're going to be talking about how children of aggressive parents see their parents. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about aggressiveness, what that looks like in parenting, and how it affects the children socially and psychologically. And then what you can do about it so that you don't keep having aggressiveness happen at your house. So let's talk a little bit about aggressiveness. When a person is aggressive, this means that they are likely to be very combative or attack another person. This means that they have more of a warlike mentality. It doesn't mean that they're always loud or always physical, however, because some people that are aggressive are very silent. They're the type of people that are just like staring you down, like, don't try this on me, you know? And they might have an inside battle going on. They're trying to send it out their eyes at you. So it can look very differently. Some parents are backhanded in comments and they think they're being silly, but it actually comes across as aggressiveness. Lots of times sarcasm can be seen in the wrong way and can be seen as aggressive to children, and so they will detach from their parents because they suddenly don't feel safe around their parents. So this is one of the biggest things with aggressiveness, is that children do not feel safe. Years ago, there was a little boy who was playing at my house, and his mother came to pick him up. And now his mother, when she heard that we were on a program for the BBC back in 2009 called The World's Strictest Parents, she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna like you because I'm strict too." And I thought, uh-oh. I wonder if her definition of strict is the same as my definition of strict, because I know that strict means a person who governs themselves by a certain set of principles, which means your principles and your practice actually match. But she was actually thinking aggressiveness is what she was thinking. So she was an aggressive mother. She came over to pick up her child and she said, "Hey, can you go and get so-and-so? It's time to go." I said, "Oh yeah, sure." So I went to the other room. I said, "Hey, your mom's here. It's time to go." So he comes out. She looks at him and she's like, "Shorts? You're wearing shorts? Why are you wearing shorts? I told you you could not wear shorts." And she just started laying into him. Now, I live in the Mountain West of the United States. People wear shorts like all year. They don't care. It gets cold there. So it's like, it hits like 40. They're like, let's put on the shorts, It was silly for her to overreact to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. You know what I mean? Or whatever it was. Anyway, so he immediately went on the defensive. I watched the little boy take a little step back, get down a little bit lower, and say, "Dad told me I could." And then she's like, "No, he didn't. He's not even home." Oops, he messed that one up. So now he comes up with another lie. "Well, I called him and he said I could." "No, you didn't. You are going to be grounded." She literally grabbed him by the ear. The old-fashioned thing that you see in weird old movies. Grabbed him by the ear and took him out the door. Aggressive. But you know what we saw there? We saw in that example the perfect depiction of what happens to a child. They get worried. They start to go into hiding. They tell a lie. Parents who are aggressive oftentimes have children who will lie because the children don't want to deal with the truth. Because the truth is hard enough to deal with. They would rather just try to say something to put the parent off, or something that the parent doesn't know quite how to combat. Even if they get found out about the lie, it's not going to be any different than if they got found out about the truth, or at least that's what they reason in their heads. So aggressive parents push their children away. The children do not trust the parent. They will continue to forgive them for a time. Once they get older, though, they don't forgive as easily. So that's where it changes. When they're little, they'll keep forgiving and keep forgiving because they have this really deep need to belong to their parents and to feel included and cared for by their parents. This is a big part of being nurtured in their upbringing. When they get a little bit older, however, they will just write their parents off. And they do hold a hole in their heart and in their development because of that. But they're willing to take those steps away. Children see their parents as out of control, as non-trustworthy, and they often feel like they're just trying to control me. They're just manipulative. And another thing that they often feel is they don't understand me. They don't care. They only care about themselves, which makes complete sense because when a parent is in an aggressive state of mind, that parent actually is only thinking about what's bugging them in the minute. They are being emotional. They're not in a place of their mind where they are thinking about what that person actually needs from them. They need connection, they need safety, they need teaching. Sure, you might have to correct your child sometime. I am an advocate for very consistent correction. But you don't have to do it in a way that pulls you apart from each other and makes it so that we don't trust each other. We're going to talk about what happens to the child psychologically and socially, as well as how to heal the relationships from these types of problems. But before we do, click the subscribe button now. There are so many great videos on this channel that will help you promote assertive parenting instead of aggressive parenting, which there is a big difference. Click subscribe now. So what happens to the child psychologically when the parent is coming across aggressive? The child feels like the victim. The child doesn't trust, like we mentioned before. The child also does not know if they can trust other people as well. Now, this impacts them socially. So what happens to their future relationships when they feel like they aren't sure if a person is coming across authentically or not? And how do they know if something is authentic? Because they've been manipulated so many times, it could be very hard to tell. So usually they go through social experiences very cautiously. Sometimes they don't even want to engage socially because they don't want to deal with it. So their anxiety levels can become higher because the emotional levels of their parents were higher and were leashed on them. Your child can struggle socially and psychologically if you engage in aggressive parenting. The way that they see you will be a way that damages your relationship in the long term instead of helps heal the relationship. So let's talk about what can we do then to heal the relationship with our children. We need to be completely honest and upfront in our parenting relationships with our children. There shouldn't be any manipulation. There shouldn't be any magic buttons or things you do to transform them or make them do something that you want them to do. No. Instead, what you need to do is you need to say, this is how we're going to handle situations. When you say, this is how we're going to handle situations, I'm going to say these words. I'm going to have this skill. You're going to have this skill. Then the child feels like things are predictable. There's rules. There's boundaries. Boundaries for the parent, boundaries for the child. Children love boundaries. How many parenting experts have you heard mention how children actually want boundaries? How those troubled children actually want boundaries? Most people know that that's true, yet for some reason we blur the boundary lines all the time by just trying to manipulate and live in the moment. When we could just say, this is how we're going to do our parenting. When you do something that needs correction, this is how we will correct it. When you earn a negative consequence, this will be the negative consequence that you earn. And we just lay it all out ahead of time. And oh, by the way, these are the skills that you need. And if you would like to talk back with me about something that you feel like is unjust or you don't like, this is a skill that you can use called disagreeing appropriately so that it maintains respect while you also get your opinion heard. And I will always hear you. Also, this is a way where we can change rules in the house in these meetings. Do you see what I mean? You have a full system in place to set it up for the child. This type of system is assertive parenting. When a person makes a plan and consistently follows through with their plan and teaches the children the things that they need to know to have good communication, then that person is being assertive in their parenting. It bonds people together. It increases trust. It also improves behaviors and relationships faster. In the description below this video, there is a link that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit. For right now, that will take you to my Calm Parenting Toolkit, which has 10 lessons in it, will help you learn the tools that you need to maintain your calmness. And you can have that for free right now. This is a great starter course to learning self-government. Go ahead and click on the link to that free Calm Parenting Toolkit today, and I'll see you there.